Hi there, everyone. Jeff C. here. It is Wednesday, February the 12th. And have you heard about Michael Bloomberg's Mayors Against Illegal Guns campaign? His group of mayors that he has gathered within the state of New York to try to curb gun violence. Of course, there are ulterior motives to it, and a lot of the mayors now have found out. What am I talking about? Well, indeed, today, off of Red Flag, 50 of Bloomberg's mayors quit after gun confiscation plan leaked. Now, I didn't quite cover this, but I did see the story last week when the Poughkeepsie Journal talked about the Poughkeepsie mayor when he found out what was really going on. So I'm going to read this article here and talk about what's going on. Nearly 50 mayors have jumped ship on former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg's Mayors Against Illegal Guns campaign over allegation that the group's ultimate goal is outright gun confiscation, according to one former member. It's very, very important. Michael Bloomberg is one of the biggest players in this New World Order plan. You could just look at his track record, his racist track record as mayor of New York City, and all the things that he's done to try to confiscate guns. There's no doubt that he, along with Feinstein and Obama and many others, are all part of this nasty, nasty plan. Michael Bloomberg was also highly connected to several people that were involved in the Sandy Hook hoax. So he is definitely part of these false flags. He is one of these guys. He is one of the evil motherfuckers that is running the United States. And now these mayors are starting to find out. Here we go. Under the guise of helping mayors face a crime and drug epidemic, which is Mayors Against Illegal Guns, intended to promote confiscation of guns from law-abiding citizens, Kaziak said, confirming what many had already suspected of the group. Nearly 50 pro-Second Amendment mayors have left the organization. They left for the same reason I did. Good for these mayors. The fact that 50 mayors bailed in response to a concentrated effort to undermine the Bill of Rights is certainly headline-worthy, but so far, unsurprisingly, few other media outlets have picked up the story. Yes, because people like Bloomberg own these media outlets, so go figure, right? Kaziak isn't the first to cast his allegations, or these allegations. In 2007, the mayor of Williamsport also said she left after witnessing dubious attempts to subvert the Second Amendment. Here's her quote. I have learned that the coalition may be working on issues which conflict with legal gun ownership and that some of the actions on your behalf are dubious. And just last year, during Mothers Demand Action rally, a gun control coalition which merged with Mayors Against Guns in December 2013, Austin, Texas Councilman Mark Martinez singled out a protester carrying a Stop the Gun Ban sign and told him, there is no gun ban currently, but because of the work we're doing here today, we will make your sign legitimate shortly, so hang on to that. News of the group's traitorous crusade comes at a time when American gun owners are already wary of continual attempts to curtail firearm ownership. Since the Sandy Hook school shooting, the Obama administration has proposed legislation aimed at combating gun violence, including proposals that would require checks for all gun sales, in effect registration. I have been covering this so much. I mean, and when you cover the false flags, especially Sandy Hook, other ones like the Navy Yards, lax shooting, things like that, you see the patterns, and then you see all the people that come out and give the speeches, and then you see the reporters who cover the stories. Last week I did a story, or 2 weeks ago I did a story on Diane Sawyer and David Muir, who were traveling across America for a year, right, which was not long after the year-long anniversary of Sandy Hook, in order to reveal, quote, alarming rate of gun violence amongst children. These people have had a plan. This is a New World Order plan. There is no doubt about it. And they are all together. They are thick as thieves in this. Bloomberg is right there with Obama, with Dianne Feinstein, with many others in Congress and in the Senate who are there to remove the guns from the people. American gun owners who know the history behind gun control are fearful that federal gun registry will eventually lead to confiscation. It will. It absolutely will. And the confiscation that's going to happen is they're going to smash your front door down and shoot your family and take your fucking guns if they have to. Indeed, numerous articles have been published showing how since 2007, roving law enforcement teams have been disarming Californians deemed illegal using a list of owners. However, in the face of blatant evidence, the director of Mayors Against Illegal Guns, Mark Glaze, has boldly gone to publicly deny nobody in California has come to take anyone's guns. Not yet? Yeah, right, whatever, eh? The fact that groups like MAIG are to the point of openly bragging about their intentions does not bode well for gun owners. It signifies the establishment is preparing to take grand strides to convince the public of dangers posed by guns. That means more contrived scenes of violence with guns at their center. Yes, this is exactly what it all is. I mean, whether we're talking about, Chicago, banning guns, whether we're talking about Sandy Hook, Aurora shooting, all the false flags. It's all part of a plan. Eric Holder coming out talking about how years ago the media needs to condition people, like the way that commercials condition people to buy things that they don't really need. The media has to do the job of convincing people to give up their guns. And so all these false flags are all tied to these characters. Bloomberg himself is directly, as I said before, directly connected to the Sandy Hook false flag. I mean, this guy should be hung for what he has done. Absolutely. The fact that Obama has repeatedly asserted his willingness to work around Congress to make things happen is also worrying. Yes, absolutely. In his 2014 State of the Union speech, he also mentioned that his administration would continue to address gun violence and that he intends to keep trying, with or without Congress, to help stop more tragedies from visiting innocent families in our movie theaters and our shopping malls and our schools like Sandy Hook. Just bring in the police state. And it's funny, movie theaters, shopping malls, and schools shootings like Sandy Hook. The movie theater shootings recently have been proven to be hoaxes, the shopping mall ones as well, and of course Sandy Hook, the Boston bombing, you name it, there's hoax after hoax. These are all planned. All these characters, many of them being part of the CFR, many of them being part of Bloomberg's team to take away the guns, many of them being affiliated with Dianne Feinstein, who has openly said on more than one occasion that she wants outright ban of all weapons. She doesn't want to have any civilians have the right to protect themselves at all. And don't forget, Bloomberg himself doesn't go anywhere without armed bodyguards. They're typical, these hypocrites. It should now be abundantly clear that any reassurances given by known liars such as Obama or his anti-Second Amendment teams are merely to placate gun owners into a state of pacification and complacency. However, the jig is now up and the curtain has been lifted. Overall, 50 mayors bailing on the group over its future plans shows a definite sea change in the way public servants are regarding citizens' rights and the Second Amendment. However, it is simply incredible that more mayors, knowing the treasonous goals of the organization, have not abandoned ship. So here is a list of the mayors that are still part of Bloomberg's plan here. I'm hoping so we can see them here. So these mayors are right across the United States, places like Arizona, Alabama, probably in every state, California. And I'm going to put the link for this below because everybody should know who these mayors are and understand that these ones that have not yet left this coalition are well aware of what the end game is, because they can't not know by now. And just to show you how Bloomberg himself, this is from his own media, using Sandy Hook to program people. Just check out this clip. It's quite disturbing.
On December 14th, we'll have a moment of silence for Newtown.
There it is, Mayors Against Illegal Guns, Moms Demand Action. I was showing the religious groups before that are all connected to this as well. They have many different tentacles that are trying to do this, and I want to make this clear. I'm sure most people listening and have been listening to this channel for some time know this because they know I always talk about it. But they're not out to just take away guns from dangerous people. In fact, if anything, they probably want dangerous people to have guns because that means more gun violence, which means that they can come after legal gun owners. Really what they want to do is take away all the guns. That's the end game, all right? Let's not kid ourselves. And that's exactly what these mayors are saying. 50 mayors leave the coalition because one mayor, the Poughkeepsie mayor, who stepped up to the plate and said, this thing is an attack on the Second Amendment. This asshole, this piece of shit motherfucker who never goes anywhere without armed bodyguards. Anywhere. This piece of shit. This motherfucker, racist shithead who has the stop and frisk and many other illegal search type programs in New York is a real dangerous person. He's an extremely dangerous person. This person is evil, and this person should be arrested, and this person should be tried for treason against the American Constitution and should be executed. It's just unfucking believable how evil these motherfuckers are. And they're making these false flags one after another. Don't think for a moment that they haven't got several coming down the pipe. We know that they're coming. And what they're doing, the big ones are the ones that they're going to connect together, just like the way Sandy Hook connected directly with Boston, using the same symbols, the same characters coming out, Gabby Giffords coming out, speaking at all the different false flags that have happened, all the need. I mean, the Sandy Hook families talking about the LAX shooting, talking about the Navy Yard shooting, coming out and using those events to push their propaganda. It's a concentrated effort. He is one of the leaders of this thing. This is one really evil motherfucker, all right? This guy here, it's unbelievable. This is the psychopathic nature of the leaders of the United States. They are defrauding millions of Americans. They're using propaganda to instill fear. They're using their propaganda to make people feel emotion towards victims of things that never even happened. You know, it's so crazy when you think about it. It's so crazy in the sense that they're able to use Sandy Hook, that they're able to use Boston, that they're able to keep going back to these Aurora and stuff like that and use them as the examples when they're all staged by these same assholes, right? They're the ones that are behind it. People in Sandy Hook, one of the nurses is connected directly to Bloomberg, heads one of his organizations. This guy is a scumbag of the highest order. It's unbelievable how evil it has become in the United States. People need to stand up right now. This is actually huge, huge news, and it should be the news of the week. Of course, everyone's going to be distracted by the Olympics and whatever else is going on, whatever other celebrity starts acting up or has a tantrum or whatever. That's the way they do it. They're keeping these stories. These guys that own these media outlets that have the power. There's only, 6 or 7 media outlets or corporations that own all the media in the United States. That's why this stuff is silenced. This should be the biggest news of the day. It should be absolutely huge. Everyone should be talking about it. But unfortunately, these assholes are the ones that own the media. That's why the corporate media has to be completely abandoned. Completely. It is the worst type of media that exists. And these people are extremely dangerous and need to be exposed and need to pay for their crimes. I don't know what punishment would be severe enough to punish this asshole. Anyways, leave your comments below. All the best, Jesse.